Welcome to Beyond Profile. Today's March 13th, and we have a market that is gapping up outside of a nice balance area here that we've had on the daily since the beginning of February. Yesterday, actually Friday in the room, we were talking about the potential for this to be a possible 2x retest up here. A lot of people might be saying, well, it's retesting the prior pivot highs. We'll see if it puts a 2x top in and then rolls back down. And we said, well, one of the things that you'd have to watch for is if the market just goes sideways, those people who are in that might be trapped if they're positioning themselves for a 2x top. If we get a sideways action, that will blow through and it will continue outside of the balance area. And sure enough, this morning we've traded as high as 1376, which is up over this way. One of the thoughts would be this morning, or for today at least, is number one, if we close green, the next day you'd want to see it close red back inside of the prior balance area if it's going to be a failure to the upside. Because remember, treat this just like you would anything else. If this was a 5-minute chart and you know where their stops are on the sell side, if they try to reach for the stops, there's no follow through, and we always see it come out the other side of it. Treat it the same way, just that this is a daily time frame. So you give it a day after the move outside of this area. See if it pulls back inside, because then at that point you're looking at a probe back through the other side of the balance area. We've got retail sales this morning that'll dictate, again, will this be continuation follow through in this? The euro's lower this morning, I noticed. So markets all higher this morning. Nasdaq's breaking outside into 2660s, again, all-time highs for the year. We broke through the 2646 level, which were the prior pivot highs. And again, same chart looking the same way, except, well, here, let's go to the NQ for a minute. The NQ, you can see the NQ a little bit different looking because we had a balance area from the beginning of February. We broke higher, we pulled back, did a change of polarity trade on last week Tuesday when the market corrected, and then drove right back up to the prior pivot highs, and we were actually making new highs yesterday. So this is even trading higher this morning up into the 60s, 2660 area, way up outside of that area. That's going to also put the composite outside of 3,000 this morning on the market. So we have to just watch. The trend continues up here. All pullbacks are still being bought. This low volume stuff in the markets yesterday I know was tough on some of you, but I think some of you are getting the hang of the idea of just playing the smaller time frame charts. When we're in balance, just take if the market gives you a couple points, take it. Just keep racking up those trades until the market conditions change again. At some point they should clean themselves back up again. So look at this move though in the Nasdaq since the beginning of the year. We were down at 2,300. We know we're 2,600 and change this morning. 300 plus points. Big move. So again, we're going to be watching. Like I said, a lot of people might be seeing this as a 2x top. Well, we'll see what happens here. Whether this is a breakout. If it's a breakout, then any sort of retest back into 2646, 2640s on the NQ would be viable, and again into the 60s on the S&P would be viable. It's a change of polarity trade. First time at least into it, you would expect buyers to come into it, because if anybody was short, now they're stuck on the wrong side of the trade, and we're gapping way outside of the balance area in both of these markets. One of the other interesting things here, the 30-minute chart of the S&P, you can see where we're trading this morning way outside of the area, and again yesterday's high volume node 63. What's interesting about this chart is if you look at where last week's value area is, this gray line right here at 5675s. This is the value area high from last week, and then here's the point of control in the value. Look at how we're out of value. Okay, we're out of value. The market's seeking new value. If it can't accept value up here, then it will pull itself back in, because this was a target objective I had yesterday, because you also have a naked point of control down there, and a retest of that would have, for me, gotten me a little bit more bullish versus this thing gapping up outside of it. I always like to see a retest of the prior week's value area before going higher. Like last week, we opened right up close to the point of control and spent most of the week. Well, we went below it, but we opened it and then we pulled ourselves right back into it. So that was an extension, just like I was showing you on the daily. It was a failure in a smaller time frame and moved right back up into the prior value area. So we'll see this morning, like I said, anything back against the really probably 68s here, the prior pivot highs, 67, 68s would be a change of polarity trade. Look at that as being an opportunity to get on to see if they can bounce this back up into the Globex highs and 75s. All right, folks, have a great trading day. We'll see you in the room.